Hello, Cryptonauts, and welcome back to another episode of Cryptocurrency Chat. Episode 524 here Wednesday evening, a little bit later than normally. The middle of the June, 6/14/2023. I am your host, Jake Jabarili, with my co-host, Blockchain John, here kicking off the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. Well, it's going to be happening in October, not right now. What's going on, John?
All good, all good. I'm a little energetic, man. Energy drinks got to me. So I'm on it. Let's do it, man.
Haha. So
Pacific
yeah,
Bitcoin.
Pacific Bitcoin is going to be happening in, like I said, about 5 months. 5 months or 4 months? This is June. That's October. That's about 4 months off. The beginning of October. So it's about the same time as we went to Blockchain Festival last year, but it will be in Los Angeles, actually at the Santa Monica Airport at the hangar there. So it'll be a mostly indoor-outdoor event. There'll be a lot of speakers. You can get your tickets for, unfortunately, in fiat, $550 for the basic and $2,800 for the VIP ticket. And there'll be lots of speakers and lots of things. This is Bitcoin only, just so you know. Please don't talk about anything else. I'm sure people won't kill you for it, but it is a Bitcoin only topic, not an altcoin topic, not an
I
altcoin
think it's a beautiful
festival.
thing, man. You think about it. There's a lot of things going on. Dr. Craig right out there is trying to sue all these different developers and companies that are working on blockchain because that's what Dr. Craig Wright does, right? There's a foundation out there. Not that foundation. There's man, I'm going blank now. A Bitcoin legal counsel that's funded by Jack Dorsey, right? So you got like legal entities that are defending these developers. Which keep in mind, I don't know if you recall, Jake. There's developers right now that are going to be sued by the UK, I think it was, for publishing open source code, you know, and somebody else taking that code and creating something bad with
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
creating a bad tool with it.
yeah, exactly.
Now these open source developers are going to possibly be taken to court, taken to jail for
Right.
making this code. It doesn't make sense. So now you
No,
have this um,
they're
this
defending.
legal defense fund
Yep,
that's out there, this Bitcoin legal defense fund
exactly.
that is going to help defend these people, and that's like most likely going to be talked here at Pacific Bitcoin. And that's just one thing. The beauty that people get to go and talk about how these people are actually saving lives, saving open source code. And then obviously you're gonna have the whole. I don't know if Ordinals is gonna be there. Ordinals is a little far stretched for pure Bitcoinists, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the Bitcoin Festival. Trust me, it's
Exactly.
gonna be an amazing, amazing event.
Yep, big event down
Hosted by
in
Swan.
LA when it will probably be a nice day because almost every day is a nice day, and it's near the coast because the airport is not that far. It's like maybe a mile and a half from the water. So yeah, it's going to be in October, early October. So let's talk also about the 14 months from now in late July of 2024 in Nashville, the primary Bitcoin conference. The original Bitcoin conference will be happening in Nashville instead of Miami. And you can get tickets now, and everything is in Satoshis or in Bitcoin itself. So rather than having to pay fiat, which you can still pay, there are prices listed in Satoshis. 2 million for the general, 3 million for industry, and 18 million for the VIP level. Also, so let's get on to the news of the day.
Yeah,
Lots of political news going on in this
it's
episode.
good though. It's good. I'm not gonna lie. We need some political news in the crypto space right now. We need to start wrapping up some chapters in the crypto space, and it's either now or I wouldn't say never. Better now. Just wrap it up now. Let's just do this. Ripple legal chief calls for investigations into former SEC director Hinman. Ooh, what's going on there? Little insight. All right, so let's see. Let's start from the top. Stuart Aldatori, the chief legal officer of Ripple, is calling for new investigations to the former U.S. Securities Exchange Commission director Bill Hinman. Now, if you guys don't know, the Hinman um, what do you call it? Emails were unsealed at court during the XRP versus SEC lawsuit, and Hinman was over here in 2018 saying a lot of stuff, basically saying that that these cryptos were not securities, even though Hinman was told multiple times that the speech and the legal terms that he's using is not good. You can't be saying that. but he still kept saying that kind of stuff, which made all these crypto projects believe that they're legitimate. And now, years later, 4 years later, or actually, I think when this lawsuit happened was like 2 years later, in 2020, the SEC comes back and bites all these crypto exchanges, and specifically pointing out XRP. And so now, yeah, now wrapping it back to the main topic of this particular article, Hinman's going to be investigated, which he should. He should, right? Please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's completely unfair that the head of the SEC, chief legal chief here is former SEC director, basically what Gary Gensler is now, was basically telling everybody, yeah, it's totally cool, no, totally fine. Start your projects, do everything you want, do whatever you please, have people invest in this. It's just fine, and it wasn't, at least according to the current director. And it's not like the current director is under like a weird Republican stance. He's he's in a Democrat government. So why is the current SEC all upset when the previous SEC apparently wasn't, even though that guy was told not to say it that way? It does seem very much unfair. People took his volition to say that it was legit, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
or at least according to the current level. So
it's even kind of fishy here. It says, in the speech delivered in June 8, 2018, Hinman stated that Ethereum shouldn't be considered a security as it was sufficiently decentralized, something that caused confusion when the SEC later sued Ripple Labs for allegedly selling $1.6 billion worth of XRP as an unregistered security.
Exactly.
So why is there favoritism towards one chain and not the other?
Exactly.
I've been saying, hey, look into the SEC for a long time, man, because this is not right. Why is there favoritism towards one project over the other? Not that I'm saying, hey, I like XRP. I don't really go for XRP. It's not my thing. To each their own. But in regards to this lawsuit, this is something that's very important in the crypto space. Whether you're pro or against it or neutral, this is very important. We need clarity on this.
I guess to be clear on the distinctions here, the things that which you consider to be securities in the traditional finance market are clearly defined. We know what they are. We know how they work for the most part. And this new thing that came in here was given carte blanche to do something different than what was expected of prior securities. And now we're going back on that. And the biggest problem that Coinbase in particular, and we will talk about this later, is having a problem with, is that there is no clarity. They say there is clarity. The SEC is claiming, well, duh, you know how this works. And then these people are like, no, it's not because we're ignorant. We know what these things are. You guys don't seem to know how to define it. And then you're still telling us that it's illegal. How do you prosecute someone on something they didn't know was illegal? And there was no definitive law on it, even though you're claiming that there is. That's the problem that we're only running into. This will all work itself out in court. And as we've seen, the Ripple lawsuit didn't break Ripple, right? In the next article here, we have XRP drops 5% as Market Digest Hinman documents an SEC court case. So what happened in the XRP court case in particular? It was determined explicitly that what the SEC was accusing Ripple of being was not true. But now that we have all these other documents from Hinman, people are getting confused. They're like, well, this guy said yes, but then he said no. Or they told him not to say yes, but he said yes anyways. And so we were very happy about this, and then we found out that wasn't true. Why is it so confusing? So, in particular, Ripple has been in a legal battle since 2020 due to allegedly selling unregistered securities. In 2018, Hinman was stating that Ethereum shouldn't be considered a security. Well, the news... Go ahead.
I don't understand, because I said it time and time again. I was part of that initial ICO. That doesn't make sense to me. An ICO, everybody got busted in 2017 for having an ICO, because every single ICO in the eyes of the SEC is 100% a security.
Right.
So why isn't Ethereum on that list? That makes no sense.
Yep. Agreed.
Because it's, quote, sufficiently decentralized.
Yes.
Really, Hinman? Really?
So there is
Okay.
there is some level, and per the second article, there is some level of FOMO that people have, fear of missing out, when
Yeah, yeah.
some news hits the market and no one's read it yet and no one's digested it yet. But once it was digested, the 6% or roughly 5% jump that happened at the beginning, when they're like, oh, look, we have proof here. Oh, wait, that's not proof. So then the market fell back down again. Because FOMO does this. FOMO causes people to jump in, and FUD causes people to try to jump out. But none of it's real. It's just emotion moving the needle left or right. And this is the problem with, as John and I have been saying many, 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 many times, if not every single episode we've ever had. Don't follow the fear and don't follow the FOMO, right? Not your keys, not your crypto. Buy on the dip. There's plenty of people, and honestly, I think most of the purchasing and selling has to do with bots, but there's plenty of people that buy and sell on the news instead of holding and buying when the price goes down, because the price is going to go back up. If there's one thing that the market does, it goes up and down. The best time to buy is when it's down, in our opinion. So, anyways, that takes care of this. Let's head on to Solana.
Solana hard fork to stave off SEC. Dev says it's not happening. So if you guys don't know by now, which we've mentioned in previous episodes, is that the SEC is suing Solana because they're considering them a security. Interesting. So what Solana wants to do is create a hard fork, supposedly, but to find out, it's not happening. According to devs, actually, according to this particular developer, and I'll go down and read that right now. It says, what's happening in Twitter? Actually, let me just read from the top here, so it makes sense. After last week's aggressive regulatory action from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which labels Solana's token a security in a lawsuit, the community on crypto Twitter erupted in debates surrounding a possible hard fork. Interesting. I'm not sure how that rumor started, but it started, and it circulated around. The debate, although it's been heated at times on Twitter, appears to have not reached Solana developers because they know nothing about it. Now, here's an individual that quote says, "I work on the largest Solana project with more than 10 developers, and nobody is discussing a hard fork," says Matthias Kudelski, a cybersecurity researcher who audits Solana's code and works on metaverse game Star Atlas. Why? This is once again what Jake was saying. FUD and FOMO. People are just saying stuff just to pump up the token. Like, hey, guess what? They're gonna fork. Yay! Go, let's buy some more. But dude, that you got to fact check this stuff. So that's good that that Matthias came out on record and said, dude, I see nothing going on the back end. Which, if you ask me, there would have been an official article from or an official paper from a Solana developer saying that this is what they're going to do. But in the end, I don't know if that really gets them out of lawsuit. At this point, they'll probably still be investigated. I don't know. What do you think, Jake? I mean, if they literally fork tomorrow,
No, it's the same thing. It's escapism. It's
escapism.
escapism, and it's not necessarily going to change anything. This is the problem I have
Right.
with, in general, people like when SBF quit FTX, that wasn't going to get him out of what was going on with the company. And then they gave the job to John Day Ray, and now he's taking care of it. But it's like, is it because of the controversy? Is it because you're going to escape something? You're not going to escape anything. Once you've committed a crime, you're going to get prosecuted. Doesn't matter if you stop criming. Even if you don't succeed in the crime, you still get charged because that's attempted whatever the problem is. So I'm not saying that Solana is a security. I'm not saying Ethereum is a security. I know there's still controversy going on over this. No one has clearly defined it. But rather than clearly define the rules, all the SEC is doing is suing people, which isn't the solution, in my opinion. They should define the rules and then sue people.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's incredibly unfortunate. But this is again not necessarily FUD or FOMO in this case. It's lies. It's like when Elon Musk tweets a new coin, like I think he tweeted Milady, Milady, and it spiked up some like 600%, and then of course within hours went back down. But it's just some famous person making mention of something and getting that thing a lot more play. Does that mean that thing's better than it was yesterday? No, it just means that some person of high value or high importance has made mention of that thing. And some people are like, oh, if he likes it or tweeted about it, I should get into it. That's FOMO. So nothing's happening with Solana according to the devs. Don't FOMO in.
I mean, don't FOMO in. It wouldn't hurt to buy some Solana if you're on the network and actually have a use case for it. Don't forget that. There's nothing wrong with Solana technology itself. Right? But if you're trying to buy dip, I don't know if that's quite there yet. I wouldn't even go there. I wouldn't even go there.
Yeah.
But Solana's not a bad chain. It's good. You can actually use it.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. So it's not happening. We can move on. So let's talk about the SEC again here. So the SEC
refuses. Okay, go ahead.
The SEC is refusing to respond to Coinbase's rulemaking petition following the lawsuit. So if you didn't already know, and we've talked about it before, the SEC is suing Binance and Coinbase, the two largest exchanges in the world. And Coinbase and Binance are both kind of like trying to step away from this whole thing because they're calling BS on the SEC, as we've been talking about with Ripple. The U.S. Court of Appeals, the Third Court, has asked the SEC to clarify its position on a rulemaking petition from Coinbase. And of course, the SEC is like, nope, we're not going to help. We've already clarified as much as we're going to clarify. And this is the problem: is it's like pointing to a rule, a billboard with rules on it, but the billboard's blank. It's like, see over there? See, we wrote those rules down over there? And people are like, well, we can't read that. It's like, nope, the rules are written. They're right there. And everyone's saying, no, there's no rules there. So this is, unfortunately, it seems like a cop-out position. You know what a slap lawsuit is? It's the lawsuits that people file to try to keep people from doing something. And there's rules in California and other places in the U.S. called anti-slap against lawsuits that are basically just meant to shut people up. That's what a slap lawsuit is. It's just, I'm going to sue you because you don't have any money, and then I'm going to take you to court. Oh, you don't have any money? Then you're just going to have to settle.
That's exactly what I was mentioning earlier with Craig Wright doing the developers.
Yeah, this is the problem.
Using quote his code, his blockchain code, because anybody that uses the Bitcoin code right now can possibly be sued by Craig Wright.
Right.
If you touch anything that is Bitcoin related, you can be sued by Craig Wright. And that's what he's doing because he has money. He's funded.
Yeah, so the problem we're running into is it's people who don't actually have any real argument. This is sadly what's happening with the SEC. They don't have a real argument. They're just like, well, we're big and bad and it's impossible to fight the U.S. It's not entirely impossible, but it's hard. It's very hard to fight the United States when they sue you. And so most people just cave. But all these companies, like the one that's supporting, Michael Saylor supporting against Craig Wright, and of course Coinbase and Binance, they have a lot of money. And they're willing, because their entire business is based off of this, to fight against the U.S. government on these issues. When the U.S. government is making the claim that there's a problem with what these people are doing, and these people are saying, well, if you can show to us how that is true, we'll stop doing it. But you haven't shown it, you're just suing us. So it feels like a slap situation. It feels like if we just, gang up on you, you'll stop. And that hasn't stopped yet. And a lot of the people, they're leaving. They're trying to leave at least. But they're also serious about not just caving. They're like, no, this is legit. This is something we've been doing. And you haven't told us what you can and cannot do. So take us to court. We'll fight it. And we'll prove to you, like Ripple did, that it's not a security. So it's unfortunate that they keep suing and suing and suing. It just feels like a cop-out. It feels like, well, you're bad.
But at this point, there should be something from the Supreme Court, a restricting or what I heard on a podcast earlier. I forgot what podcast was, or it was a Twitter space. Defund the SEC or limit the SEC's abilities because they're abusing their powers.
Yeah.
When it comes to overreaching their authority because they don't have clarity there, no definition of what they're trying to do. So stop it.
Yeah.
Have the courts come and say stop. You guys can't. You guys don't know what you're doing, and you guys are just going lawsuit happy with everybody. So you guys need to stop that now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you.
It's
Proceed
really
further
just
with
a
this. Which,
bullying
honestly,
technique.
I think.
So.
Yeah. Now, yeah, do it until they can get clarity on the books, right?
Mhm.
That's what you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Clarity.
Yep.
And that's what pretty much this whole episode's been about. We just want clarity.
Yep. Just define what you're saying, what you're talking about, and we'll comply. I mean, if we don't like it, we will try to sue you over it. But the fact of the matter is, you haven't defined it. You need to define it. You know, what are the parameters under which this is actually a security? And if it isn't defined, then define it. That's the whole thing that the European Union is doing with the MICA, the MiCA. And it's the same thing that's going on in Saudi Arabia, or Abu Dhabi, where they're trying to define what, the parameters of how this coin structure will work. It's already working. People are already using it. But large governments don't like it. And honestly, if I'm going to be truly honest about what I think about this, it feels like it's an attack. We can't control this, so we need it to go away. But you're not going to control it. Bitcoin is literally an answer to government overreach. And government is trying to overreach yet again.
Yep. And what they're doing is they're making it harder for people to buy in by, stopping all these centralized exchanges. Which, hey, there needs to be a fiat on ramp because the masses will not be miners. Let's just cut to that chase real quick. Even though I know you would like everybody to be a miner, it's not going to happen.
Oh.
There's going to be people buying in. If there's no more on ramps, then what's left? Crypto will cease to exist.
Well,
at least in
I
the
know
States.
it may be. All right, we know that the way that you do it in that case is you use a VPN to log into an external website. And I know that the problem therein is that when people build their websites like Bitmux outside of the United States still goes to that country and sues them. Or arrests them or asks for extradition. You were fooling our residents. How dare you fool our residents into buying your fake coin that you created? Like, no, we didn't create it. We're just an exchange. We told your residents not to come here. They came here anyways. Why are we at fault? So this is, in a sense, you could say that's the same kind of situation. Where the U.S. is like, stop pestering our U.S. Like your citizens want to do this whether you like it or not. Too bad. So, all right, moving on. Let's talk about tokenization and how it's not made to evade laws.
And this is where I think the whole idea of utility comes into play. Now, blockchains create tokens for the purpose of utility. You're going to use a token for something on the blockchain. Otherwise, what's the point? You're going to use it for something.
It's a tool. Yeah, it's a tool.
Either be for governance, either it being for governance purposes, for financial trade, or for I guess making your AI more sophisticated by feeding it tokens, AI food.
Didn't you ask me? You asked me a question the other day. You have a bunch of old phones, right? And you asked me what can you do with these old phones? They're all running an ancient version of Android. We're on Android 13 or 14 right now, and yet these phones have Android 8. So what do you do with an old phone that can't be upgraded anymore? Well, there's a ton of different applications that still exist in the Android market and even outside the Android market, which can allow you to use that phone. The phone in itself has a bunch of sensors built into it. It's got a camera built into it. It's got a whole freaking screen. Half the phone is a screen. There's a bunch of different things you can do with that tool to make it use it. Now, can you also use it to evade laws? Sure you can. But it wasn't designed for that purpose. The cell phone, the smartphone rather, was designed to be used for making and receiving texts and calls and for surfing the web and for doing all kinds of games and apps. There's tons of functionality built into it. Can you use a phone for crime? Absolutely you can, but it was not built for that purpose. Same thing that this guy is saying here. Iman Sirer is saying tokenization on crypto was not made to evade laws. Just because you can use it to evade laws doesn't mean that was what it was made for. Now, per the SEC's accusation of what they're saying that Coinbase and Binance are doing securities illegally, They're saying you made a tool that is illegal. You need to show why it's illegal. You need to define the laws that say why this is illegal. Now, yes, selling securities without registration is illegal. But if what you're selling is not a security, then it's not illegal. Same thing goes here. These tokens have purposes. They're tools to facilitate functions within finance and all kinds of things you can do with a token. It's not just that. I mean, what's an NFT? It's a token, right? It's a non-fungible token, but it is still a token. What is it to be used for? Well, it's a unique digital item that you can literally trade with other people, and you can use it for so much functionality. Any tokenization of anything is useful. We do it constantly every day, not just with dollars, but with all kinds of different applications. So he's basically pointing out that just because the accusation is out there that this is what these things are for, doesn't mean that is what they're for. And these people who are creating them, for the most part, have no intention of making these tools for the use of illegality. I think the example we used many, many times in the past, John, was when we talked about the power drill analogy. Remember that?
Yeah.
So the power drill analogy says you made a power drill, you made electricity, and the original purpose of the power drill is to drill holes in wood and concrete and different surfaces, right? Now, it's entirely possible to use a power drill to drill a hole in someone's head. That probably would kill them. Was that the intent of the power drill? No. But if a person did that with a power drill, do you sue the electricity company for providing the power to the power drill that allowed you to kill a person? Do you sue the company that made the power drill that allowed you to drill a hole in a person's head but killed them? No. We don't sue the power company or the power drill company. We process and recognize the motive of the person who used the tool to do the evil act, not the thing itself. So tokens, per Ava Labs, are not illegal. Tornado Cash, not illegal. Prosecute the people that are doing the evil or doing the crime, not the tool that's being used to do the crime, if in fact there is a crime. Sorry about my rant.
This stuff is put on the record on the U.S. House Financial Service Committee. That's where Edmund went to pretty much define what tokenization is, which is good. We once again, just like Edmund going on the stand and just pretty much giving his record is good feedback for the board, for the House to understand what blockchain is and what tokenizations is. We need more individuals like that.
Yes.
It's good to have that.
Yes.
Especially a developer, man.
Yes.
That's what we need. We need more developers to go up. So yes, thank you, Emin, for doing that. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Actually,
right.
Here you go. Here you go. This is for Emin right here.
Thank you for your patronage.
All right, last article of the evening. Thank you all for listening. As far as we have to this last rant that I did on that whole thing. Another solo Bitcoin miner. Tell us what happened. Oh, actually, is this mine or is this yours? This is mine.
Another solo Bitcoin miner hits a jackpot. He actually he solo mined, bro. He actually hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Which is winning a block reward, which is awesome. Here this particular article says he won 6 BTC. But that's not true, because I looked up his address. They published his address right here. Bing, bang, boom. Looked it up, and it's more like 6.8 Bitcoin, which is closer to 7 Bitcoin.
Yep.
And it's closer to around $180,000 instead of 160. So yeah, congratulations to this individual. That's awesome that he won that.
Yep.
And
this is proof that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it.
Yes.
And anybody should do it. And per my commentary is that you should spend your money on Bitcoin mining hardware or all kind mining hardware so you can have something to show for the stuff that you mine. Now I know not everybody wants to do that. I get it. Some people just want to buy.
If you don't
coins.
have electricity, just buy it. Just buy it. It's fine.
If you don't,
if you have
$180,000,
then just go ahead and buy it.
If you don't have, how would they buy it if they don't have electricity? Yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody for listening and checking out our great news show for today. We welcome you to check out our coin tree, cointr.ee/C3 media to check out where you can donate to us. We appreciate all donations that you can in a bunch of different coin formats, as well as Raven and Evermore asset aware wallets. You can donate in Litecoin, in fiat if you wish, through PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee. And you can also contribute to our Patreon if you like. It's pretty inexpensive, $5, $10, $15 a month. Just support our awesome content if you appreciate it. At a bare minimum, if you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe. If you like our content, you can continue to watch us and get notifications whenever we post. We usually post pretty early in the morning. So you can check out our website. That's for signups for interviews. You can see us you can listen to us on Spotify, which is what Anchor used to be. And you can also see us in various other places that John has now recently populated, because there's a whole bunch of places where Spotify now
yes.
rebroadcasts
You can find us
to.
on all these platforms.
So many platforms available. But if you want to get our content for free, you can do Nostr and Odyssey. Those are great places to get the content. Odyssey is completely ad-free to my knowledge at this point. I don't think they're doing pre-roll ads yet, although they have talked about it. But you can still get the content. And of course, if you download library.tv, the interface, you can get all their content forever for free. There's never going to be anything on that costs money. And you're supporting a great blockchain at the same time. So Nostr, the new Twitter, it's already out, so you can already get into it. And of course, you can always get us on Discord. We appreciate you participating with us on Discord, because you can always get the C3 Media token there, talk to people who are into crypto on a regular basis. We're not just talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about every kind of coin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. We'll check you in the next episode. And as we say at the end of every, stack sats and hodl.
And huddle.
Adios.
Adios.